Good evening. Everybody hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hi, Joe.
Hello. I don't know who that is. I can't tell.
It's D.
Oh, D, how are you? Good time. I didn't recognize your voice. I'm sorry.
You did wonderful. Thank you, baby.
Perfect. And I know Andy's getting a meeting tonight, or he's got some dinner meeting tonight, and Scott's at a mastermind. So I know Scott's he's in Florida tonight at the mastermind as we speak. I wanted to make sure to get on. I know Andy's usually on here before everybody else. T, have you been on here for a few minutes?
Yes, I've been on for a few minutes.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
trying- Somebody's buzzing me, but I don't know who it is.
Oh, you can answer. I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure because I know last time we had a little issue with the link, so I just wanted to make sure people are able to get on.
All they have to do is go to the website and push join in, and there you go.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, it works this time.
Beautiful. All right. I know a lot of people were like freaking out and texting and calling, and I'm like, oh, perfect. All right. So, here. We're going to be getting started here in about right about 7 o'clock. So make sure everyone has enough time to get on over here. Anybody got any real estate stories before we get started? Do you want to share real quick? Guess not.
I know you do, Joe.
Everybody has stories. If you're doing any type of real estate, there's always a story. Who doesn't have one? If you don't have a story, you're not doing real estate. That's all I know.
Right.
Oh, man.
I was thinking when you say facts, what is it, fact sell or what is it, stories?
Facts tell, stories sell.
There you go.
Yeah. Well. I don't know if Leon's even on right now. Leon,
No, not yet.
oh, is he?
No, not yet.
Okay, I didn't know if he had to go over anything. Needed to find out. Usually Andy knows what's going on for next month's meeting, but I don't know. I don't exactly know what's going to happen. That's all right. Everybody can go to the website anyways and look. Actually, I wonder if Dee knows, but it's all right. Those of you just joining us, we're going to be getting started here in a few minutes. Just giving people a chance to jump on the call right now. We're still a few minutes early right now. By the way, for those of you who are new and don't know, we like to keep this call live and interactive. So if you have any questions, think about them or write them down, whatever you want to do. We like to go over stuff on this call. So it's not just about me talking and people listening. We want to be able to share ideas and basically see what's going on in everybody else's business that we can all learn from each other. Okay. But you'll see when we get into this, because this is a great place to be able to network, be able to talk. There is a chat box where you can put in your information, and also be able to network with each other and be able to take down other people's information. So make sure you do that. If you don't put your information in there and a deal comes up, nobody's going to know to call you because you never put your information out there for us to be able to get a hold of you and let you know about it. Okay. Just a quick heads up. So are there any new people that have never been on here before? Don't be afraid. Don't be shy on this Zoom call.
Tim is new.
Wait, who is that?
Tim.
Tim?
Yep.
Perfect.
Time as well.
Eddie? Great. Anybody else?
My name's Alvin.
We got Alvin. Perfect. Well, we're gonna get started here in about less than 2 minutes. So, and we'll go from there. Basically, for the new people, this is live. We like to keep this very interactive. It's a great group to be able to just, instead of you know, when you're in a larger group or a larger setting, you can't always get as personal with everybody. So you know, we'll delve into all kinds of stuff as you'll see. And then for everybody else, you know, look, there's certain subject we can go over. If you have a question or subject you want to go over, we'll definitely do those first. And then basically see where the call is going to take us from there. Okay, because I want to make sure we handle certain questions. A lot of stuff that we'll go over or I'll talk about, or Scott's usually on the call here, but he's at a mastermind tonight in Florida. Is things that a lot of times we'll get phone calls from people. And this week I've gotten phone calls, you know, about certain questions, and you'll start to see certain, you know, repetitive questions like, okay, maybe we should go over that on the Zoom call. Maybe they're not the only ones that have those questions. And they vary from different aspects of real estate. Okay. So I'm going to get started here in less than a minute. 6:59. I'm sure there's going to be other people joining us as we progress over here, but yeah, we're just going to get started over here. All right, everybody, let's get started. Welcome. This is the Alternative Real Estate Investments Association meeting, short for ARES. We focus on everything having to do with real estate except for tenants and toilets. Okay. If you want to know about tenants and toilets, there's going to be a whole separate meeting, which is going to be next Thursday night. And that is going to be at Ferrari's Pizza. Networking is at 6:30, starts at 7 o'clock. Carl Weeks, Beth Gallagher, and I think also Pat Gallagher. I don't know if Bob Napier is going to be there or not, but you can talk about tenants and toilets and evictions till your heart is ever so content. Okay. Here, we focus on everything having to do with making money in real estate, whether it's wholesaling, fixing, flipping, doing loans, buying tax liens, foreclosure, anything having to do with that, anything having to do with expanding our portfolio and expanding our net worth in real estate. Okay. There is, and by the way, go to FREIA.com for any of this information, FFREIA.com. And we have our meeting here. The first Thursday of the month is in the morning. The third Thursday of the month, like tonight, is obviously in the evenings. We try to spread them around. And the same thing with the landlord, actually the housing provider meeting. There is going to be, for those of you who don't know, a monthly meeting, which is going to be the second Thursday of next month. I don't know what the subject is going to be on. I know we had a great meeting last Thursday night, that a couple of the council members there. It was standing room only in that whole entire room, and then some. So you definitely want us to be able to come there, take a look, see what's going on, and more importantly, the networking that goes on beforehand and afterwards is ridiculously invaluable. Okay. I know it usually starts right around 5 o'clock, 5:30. They have tons of free pizza. You got to pay for your own drinks, of course, but tons of food and a ton of people and a ton of knowledge over there. Okay. And then also, what else did I forget? I think that's pretty much about it. D, is there anything I was supposed to go over besides that, by the way, before we get started here?
Nope, you covered it pretty good, hon.
Okay, perfect. All right. We're going to get started over here. I'd like to do a couple things here. We're going to do some what's called haves and wants. But before that, I know there was a couple of those 3 people who actually were brand new to this call, or actually to the Zoom meeting. And all I want you to do is just say your name, a quick like 10, 15 seconds, basically who you are, if you're here local from Rochester or whatever, and then what kind of real estate are you looking to do? I know there was at least 3 people. I know there was an Alvin, was it there, a Tim and an Eddie, I guess. I don't know who else. Feel free to chime in here.
Yeah, so my name's Alvin. I'm from Rochester, and I'm looking to wholesale.
Perfect. All right.
I'll go. My name's Ed, and I am from Rochester, New York, and I am actually looking to get into flipping. I currently have started in the Airbnb route, but kind of want to do both, but my direction is now looking to get more into flipping. Yeah.
Great. All right. Who else?
Hey, my name's Tim. Just moved to Rochester around 4 months ago, so still very new. I started the Pints and Properties real estate meetup group in the meantime to just meet more people. I'm into buy and hold. That's my primary strategy. I house hack quite a bit, and I have a small portfolio of around like 12 units that ranges all across the East Coast. Looking to get in some commercial stuff. It's a little bit about me.
Perfect. Well, great. Perfect. Welcome to the call or the Zoom call. Is there anybody else who's new has never been on here before? Don't be shy.
I'd consider myself new. I've been on a couple times. I'm Matt from Rochester, looking to buy and hold like Tim. I have 2 properties right now looking to add on.
Perfect. All right. Great. Anyone else? We're good. Perfect. First of all, welcome everybody. One of the things we like to do is what's called has and wants, and then we'll get started here. This is basically a time to let us know what the heck you're looking for. So like some of you, like say you're looking for flips, some of you are looking for holds, whatever it is you're looking for, let us know. Also, again, there's a chat box. Put your name and phone number and information on that chat box. And because if you don't let us know, when we get a deal, we're not going to be able to call you or talk to you. Be like, oh, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, Tim wanted this, or Eddie was looking for that, or whichever property. So let us know what you're looking for. Who wants to go first? Just real quick. All right, I'll kick it off. For me, I pretty much run the gamut. I look for commercial, residential properties. I wholesale, I fix, I flip. I look all over the place. And I'm also looking for storage facilities above and beyond that. For me, it doesn't matter what the price is. It's going to depend on the numbers. Okay. I am looking at storage units up and down the East Coast and different parts of the country. And I also do a lot of properties here in Rochester and outside the area. That's what I'm looking for. Who else? Let us know what you're looking for.
Joe, I'll go second. Everybody, hello, everybody. My name's Gabriel. And I'm looking for self-storage as well. Anywhere in the United States, 70 units and above, so 10,000 square feet and above, ideally. Again, like Joe said, it doesn't matter what the price is, as long as the numbers work. If it comes down to, we look at the numbers, and if it works, if it fits in our criteria, then we will definitely take it into consideration. And we do finder's fees too. So don't think we're just gonna say hi and bye, have a nice night, so we will work with you guys. But please, anywhere in the United States, even locally too. And I'll put my contact information in the chat box as well.
Perfect. Who else? You got to let us know. If you don't let us know, we're not going to call you.
All right, I guess I'll go. So as previously mentioned, I am looking to get into small commercial, something around 1.5 mil and under, depending on some of the people who like we're trying to farm for a partnership or something. Doesn't have to be purely residential, like a small apartment complex. It can be multi-purpose. But that's kind of where we're looking for right now. Or if anyone's looking to partner on something, we're definitely looking for that as well.
Tim, what location, Tim?
Yeah, that'd probably help now, wouldn't it? Rochester. So I like to be relatively near some of my assets, at least for the initial years. That way I get familiar with everything before I bounce around and try to get a good team in place.
Awesome. All right.
I'll go. I'm looking for properties to flip, and also just knowledge of, where can you find the best deals. Also, I'm not against, either Syracuse or different areas of that area, but yeah, just where to look, where to really get started. There's knowledge of that.
Okay. Are you is it mostly singles, doubles? Does it matter?
That really doesn't matter, singles or doubles. I start there, but if the numbers look good, could be even more.
Okay. All right. Well, speak up or forever hold your peace.
Joe, I'm still looking for my ranch.
Oh, hey. Oh. I may have one for you on Long Pond.
Yeah, so it's a ranch, three bedroom, all on one floor, around the quite or Greece.
Long Pond's Greece.
Yeah. So
Now,
not really a fixer up. I mean, a handyman, yeah, but not like a rehab.
well, this one's gonna need some work, but they've had a tenant in there. The guy wasn't in there for 8 years. The son was in there first time in 8 years. The father was in there first time in 3 years, but they wanted 125 for it, but they're worth around 170, 180 over there.
All right, work on that, Joe. Let me know.
Give me a call tomorrow. I'll let you know about it because my offer, the father almost fell down on the floor over the phone when I gave it to him.
That's usually what happens. Yes.
Yeah. I went over the numbers and he couldn't pay. He was just like, I go, how can I make that work? So, hey, I'll pass it on to you. It's fine by me. But yeah, we could talk about that afterwards.
All right.
Anyone else? Who's got a list? Who's got a wish list here?
I'll go. Kind of looking for a unicorn house, Class B, multifamily, good neighborhood, good tenants, good price. That's kind of what led me here. That's not readily available, but I'm locked and loaded to make a deal. I'm looking for it.
They're out there. They're definitely out there. Are you looking for singles, doubles, or are you do some people just like to have, a certain type of property?
Primarily a 2 or 3 unit. But like I said, I'm trying to get a different perspective, see what's out there.
Yeah. If you were on this call about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have had something for you in North Winton Village.
Nice.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yep.
There'll be more.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who else? Who's got an after Christmas wish list that didn't get it? I want it now. Everybody's good?
I was just gonna say, if you guys come across any deals and you need help working them, I'm happy to work them with you. So let me know.
Perfect. All right.
Hi, guys. My name is Tracy. I am starting my wholesaling journey, so looking for cash buyers.
You should be able to get everybody's number on here, Tracy.
Yeah.
And then some.
I'm gonna put my, in the chat up, my information there. I'm an active buyer, so you wholesalers out there, grab my name and number, okay?
By the way, for those of you who don't know, that's Carl Weeks. Carl Weeks also runs the housing provider meeting. He's been involved in real estate for, I think, about 38 years and has literally managed over the years. Carl, you got to be in the thousands of properties at least.
Yeah, thousand. I lost count at the 5,000, but hundreds and hundreds of real estate transactions, either buyer, seller, manager, whatever. So a lot of experience I'm willing to share. So to piggyback on you, Joe. So the second and fourth Thursday, what he was talking about is the support group for landlords or housing providers. Beth Gallagher and I run the fourth Thursday, which is next Thursday, which is live at the Ferrari's pizza joint, right? And that is really designed for your do-it-yourself, for your buy, hold, model guys out there. This is perfect. So this is for your do-it-yourself property manager kind of stuff. A lot of information and a lot of various topics are discussed.
Yeah. Thanks, Carl. And I mean, Carl is a wealth of knowledge. If you don't write down his number, you're crazy, because he's got buyers, he's got sellers, and he's got knowledge. He's got it all. And more importantly, he's got money. So that alone right there, forget the other three, just that one right there, boom, automatically qualifies.
Oh, you had to say that, huh? Now I'm gonna get a ton of calls.
Yeah, so go high.
Actually, my money is out there working right now. So
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fantastic. All right, anybody else? We're good? Perfect. All right, so look, we like to keep this interactive. I don't want to be the only one talking over here. There are topics that I can definitely cover, but we also want to make sure to get to people's questions. And please don't be shy. This group here, it's a nice, small, personal group that we can actually talk with each other and learn from each other. Does anybody have any questions? I don't care if it's just a general question, a question about a deal that you're doing, or a possible property, or something. Whatever you might be stuck on, let us know. There's a ton of people with knowledge on here. And again, before, I should have said this in the beginning, no matter what we talk about and do here, consult your attorney and consult your accountant, because what may work for me may not work for you, and vice versa. Okay? So anybody have any questions they want to ask?
Joe, I got one.
Go ahead.
You're the master of wholesalers.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you are. All right.
I'll send you $20 tomorrow.
There's a lot of folks, newbies entering the market wanting to be wholesalers. And it's a crowded market. So my question to you is there room for other people to do what you're doing?
Yes, there's always room. And one time I was listening to a video on YouTube, and it was a guy named Tom Billier. He's a fantastic entrepreneur, everything else. And he said something that just summed everything up. And he goes, it doesn't matter if the economy's up or if the economy's down. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people in the business or if there's 1,000 people in that same business. No matter what, there will always be room for number one. Always. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be number one, but what happens is that, and this, I don't care if you're doing wholesaling, if you're doing fixing, flipping, buy, holds, whatever it is, this entails everybody. So here's the thing. When you start thinking about being number one, you start doing things differently. You start marketing differently. You start everything you do. You start learning because you're focusing on getting to number one. So worst case scenario, out of everybody out there, Okay, let's just say you hit top 10. Are you going to complain? You know, out of 100 people or out of 1,000 people, let's just say there's 100 people doing, and by the way, in this group, there's over 240 plus members. So to say there's just to be top 10 and just out of 100, you're not even including half this group. And that doesn't include the other people who aren't even in part of this group. So just imagine where you'd be. So no matter what, that's the way I think. Okay. There's always room, you know, and I love competition. It forces you to get better. It makes you get better. You don't have to if you're content with where you are. You know, for us, most of us on this call, most of us want world domination, I guess. And but there's, yes, sorry to make that a long answer. Who's got questions? Oh man, there's a lot of shy people on this call. You know that? So some of the things, actually, I wrote down a couple things over here. You know, I've been, you know, some of the stuff we'll talk about is things that I get phone calls on, things that Scott gets phone calls on. Scott's not on tonight, by the way, for those who don't know. He's actually in a mastermind in Miami, Florida. So that's how come. Otherwise he'd be on the call here with us tonight on the Zoom call. But, you know, a lot of the things that I've been getting calls from people, and they're like, hey, listen, you know, new year, I want to do this, I want to do that. And, you know, and it's all the goals thing. You know, we know most people, 90+% of them never even hit their goals. By now, more than half of them have already quit. That's a true statistical fact. Okay. And one of the things that I asked them, I'm like, okay, you know, forget the goal. What are you doing differently? Okay. And that tells me everything that I need to know. Because if they tell me, well, I don't know ends with no. That means nothing. Okay. So that's one of the things that I like to focus on for me is, all right, because a lot of times people think about goals. Sometimes some of their goals are so big and so huge. I'm like, what are you going to learn? What are you going to do? You know, who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to network? Who are you going to connect with? Who are you going to shadow? So, and there's all these, you know, and when I give somebody all these different choices or options, and there's not a whole lot, you know, and they're sitting there to think, you know, like, wow, you know, and look, I want to be honest and respectful here to people. It's just that, you know, you want something, you got to be able to do something about it, you know. And I was taught a very simple formula, and as a guy who was a mentor of mine, and it goes in, I don't care what business you're involved in, be multiplied by the do equals the have. Okay. Most people want to do and they want to have, or most people want to be and they want to have, but they don't want to do what they're supposed to do. Be times 2, the do equals the have. It's a very simple formula that I've gone by for many, many years, and it works for me. Okay. And the gentleman who I learned this from at the time, which was unbelievable, he was averaging around $700,000 a month in income. $700,000 a month. When he said that to me, I listened. Okay. And that was many years ago. And he was a wealth of knowledge, you know, and and the reason why he got to $700,000 a month was because that was part of his formulas. Okay. You know, I want to know what some of you are doing on this call that's going to be a little bit different, or what you decided to do differently in the last couple of weeks. Talk to us, let us know so we can all learn from each other. And don't be shy, because I will call people out. And it won't be Carl.
I'll go. I've tried to mail some letters to neighboring properties, and I got a list of all the multi-family houses in Monroe County. I'm trying to mail to the owners that don't live in the house. Haven't, probably about 10 letters in so far. It's probably going to take a couple hundred, to get a bite. I guess that kind of is a question I have too. Is that, what are your thoughts on that strategy? Is it worth my time? I know a lot of people, cold calling and texting, that's one thing. I guess I thought maybe a letter kind of introducing myself, what I'm trying to buy, maybe that would hit home a little better with people. That's what I've been doing past few weeks.
And by the way, who else is doing that? That's on. Is anyone else doing that on here?
I send out letters every once in a while. I've done what you did. I mean, you're spending money, so I mean, you may get a deal, you may not get a deal, or if you keep doing it, you may eventually, get something. And the other thing is, like today, I got a call from a guy that I talked to last year. He saved my number and he called me. He says, "Hey, I got a house," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I didn't even remember him at first. But so even if you don't get something right away, you may get something a year from now or 2 years from now. So it's not like a bad marketing strategy. It just, if you have the funds to do it, try it out. At least get your information out there, and then you never know when someone's going to call you. So I don't think any marketing strategy is bad per se. You can get deals in any of them. So it's just a matter of, some people don't want to spend money and some people, have the funds to do it. So I don't think it's a bad, marketing. So hope that helps.
Let me chime in here. So Brandy, you hit the nail on the head. It's a theory, what we call planting the seeds. Planting the seeds, Matt. And at first it may be frustrating, but keep doing what you're doing. You market, you contact. I'm old school, so I love snow and I love grass, because snow with no marks in it is a distressed house. And grass with no mowing going on is a distressed house. My postcards go in that house. I'm planting seeds, and lo and behold, a year or two, Brandy, 3 years later, I had more deals I didn't know what to do with, because you planted the seeds. So keep doing what you're doing. It'll happen.
I agree with you, Carl. Totally. And the thing about it though, Matt, is that like I could send that same house a letter a month for 9 months. And all of a sudden Matt comes along and he sends them one letter. And that one letter, that's the perfect time to like, you know what? I'm ready to sell. Okay. So just be very consistent. But also, some people make that their only source of being able to market, and it's up to you if you want to do that. For myself personally, I use all kinds of different avenues. I call it my marketing arsenal. But yeah, you can get some really good deals, especially when the market's hot. It's a little bit tougher, but they're still out there. Okay. Right. So, but just no matter what kind of marketing you do, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're just going door to door or if you're, if you're doing, internet, whatever it is, consistency is going to be key. That will beat everything else you got going on.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Joe, can you touch upon social media? I mean, marketing now today is different from many years ago, right? So you've got Facebook, Twitter, all this stuff out there in terms of marketing your stuff socially. Can you talk about that?
Yes. That to me, look, you got to have a website no matter what. Okay. I'm not, everybody who knows me, my computer is afraid of me because I will literally start it up with a hammer. If I get mad at it, I will throw it out. And I am not kidding you. My assistant, she takes care of my computer stuff. I'm on here on Zoom because it's the same procedure. every single time. If it had to deviate from what I had to do, I'd still be trying to get it on her. By this time, I would have thrown it up against the wall. Okay. What I can tell you is that you got to have a website. Okay. At least that way, because people are going to look you up. Okay. I just had somebody look me up the other day, and because of that, I'm going to be going to a house in West Arundequoit. Okay. She was getting other phone calls from other people. And by the way, tomorrow I'm supposed to be going to look at, and by the way, the one in Arundequoit is probably about $150,000+ house, give or take. It'll end up being a short sale, but we could talk about that later. But tomorrow I'm going to look at a storage facility. Yes, Gabe, I said a storage facility about 2 hours away from me. And it's and she, after I talked to her, she wanted to find out about me. Okay. And I sent her to the website, and it's a fantastic deal. I want this deal so badly, and it's probably about $500,000 deal, and it's worth way more than that. But the reason why I'm going to be going there, and there's a couple other people who've already been there before me, but she was checking every single one of them out. So no matter what, have a website. I don't care what it is, or it doesn't have to be completely elaborate. People are like, what do I put on there? Check out other people's websites, and and copy and paste a little bit. Just don't forget to put your own name on there instead of that person's name on there.
So Joe, I'm not sure if REIA is still doing it, but I know that they had websites, a free website. Maybe it's still going on. You can check into it.
That's a great idea. Actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they're on the pro web.
Okay.
If they sign in as a member, they get a free website. That is true.
Awesome. There you go. Right there.
So, Joe, can I interject real quick, please?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, interrupt, but I got a question then. So we're talking about marketing, and Carl brought up a good point about, we were talking about social media and websites and stuff. So then I'm wondering, and people have always not told me, but some people said, no, you don't need websites. You're just a cold caller, kind of thing. So I've always wanted to. I understand. I did social media marketing when I had my restaurant, and it was successful to the point where I would sell out of my menu items. So, I'm kind of familiar with it. So I'm wondering now, do you think for me, getting more involved in the business, would it be worth it for someone like me to market myself, and do the demo, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but for selling self-storage, for buying self-storage, for putting my name out there on Facebook as and under my LLC, or even myself, either way. And in addition, should I have a landing page as well? Do you think is that a good idea for me, or just stick to my cold calling and,
I would absolutely do that.
Okay.
I had actually a lady who I talked to. She owned a self-storage unit down there in Florida, in the Panhandle there, and in the Gulf. And when I called her back, I called her back the next day, so she had to give me some information, and she checked out the website. And on that website is also a picture of me. There's my picture on there. So at least that way it humanizes me a little bit. When I talked to her, she was able to put a face with my voice. And more importantly is that, lets them know, hey, listen, you know what? You're not just some regular cold caller, to me, look, we're professional marketers first. Our byproduct is real estate. And I've always said that. I'll continue to say that till forever. Okay. So, because, some of the people you deal with, and I know especially you, Gabe, I mean, you're dealing in $500,000 properties, 300, $1 million, whatever. And, some of these people want to be able to say, hey, you know what, this guy, obviously you're human. At the same time, you're also a professional too, because they want to be able to check you out. And the lady from the house in West Arundequoit that I'm going to on Sunday, she checked out. I said, listen, her name was Melody, very nice lady. She's going through an unbelievable, she was literally crying on the phone. And she went to the website, checked me out, and we talked again. And she goes, and by the way, she's already had 2 other real estate agents call her up. Two other ones from 2 other different companies. She's like, I'm not returning their phone calls. I don't trust them. I'm going with you. That's it. And I haven't even seen the house yet. I'm supposed to go to it on Sunday. Okay.
So should I start? I think I should start with Facebook first and then lead to the webpage, or do both at the same time, or?
Why? It's up to you. I would do both.
Okay.
Why not? You know, you want people to know you're buying storage facilities. Someone's going to be like, listen, I got to sell my storage facility. Who should I call? You know, we buy storage facilities, or I buy whatever, you know, and then let them find you. You know, you have to get to the point. Look, for me, especially like, and by the way, getting back to social media marketing, I want to expand on what Gabe was just talking about. The social media marketing, I know people that spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month on social media marketing. When you're starting out, like for myself, there was no way I would have been able to do that. I was so broke. Oh my God. At the same time, you've got Facebook, you've got your friends, you've got people, and then just start building from there. Okay, you don't have to go, all of a sudden I got to spend thousands of dollars, because you're going to get all these people saying, hey, I can build you a website for, you know, whatever amount of money. You know, do with what's going to make you comfortable. But just remember, you know, like with Matt, no matter what you're doing, you got to be very consistent. Okay, that is very, very important to do that. You know, in my mind, you know, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Every single time, most investors, when I talk to them, when they wake up in the morning, their main goal is, I got to find a house. I got to find a house. I got to find a house. When I wake up in the morning, my main goal is, how do I let as many people as possible know that I want to buy their property? Okay. So the first way of thinking, you're going to do things a little bit differently, because you're focused one way. You're focused on one house. When I wake up in the morning, my thinking is, how to let as many people as possible know. My thinking is broadened, and I'm like, okay, I want to let as many, because I get phone calls and I get text messages, I get emails from people who are selling all kinds of stuff that I don't even want. At the same time, that tells me that what I'm doing, people are actually finding it, people are actually seeing it. Okay. So just get in the mentality of figuring out, because Gabe, you're the one that's always making the phone calls. And like Matt's always out there, or Matt's always putting out the letters, putting out, whatever we do. You got to get to the point where the phone calls or the properties are finding you, because your time is like this. When they start calling you, your business will do this automatically. Okay. So it's now, look, for me, I have a marketing arsenal. Do I get phone calls every day from all of it? No. At the same time, I get phone calls.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is what works for me. Some people may want to do a little bit differently. Other people have different goals. We're just sharing ideas here. By the way, who else wants to add on to this? Please, who's doing social media? We want to know.
Hey, Gabe, I would say definitely Facebook. You said that you're with your restaurant that you use Facebook to promote, right?
Yeah.
So you want to do that same thing. Utilize every inch of technology that you have. That's what you got to do. Utilize it as much as possible. Do the Facebook thing. Also, if you want to touch on Instagram, absolutely do that too. Get out there and promote what you're doing, what you're looking for, commenting, posting. Like you said, it was a success with your restaurant. So do the same thing. Obviously, it's not going to be the same product because you're doing something different. But just mimic the same thing that you did, and I guarantee you will probably see just the same results, or maybe who knows better.
Yeah, and and the cool thing is I need to mention this too, is that the cool thing about Facebook, I think, is that, and to Joe's point earlier, is that people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing every month on Facebook.
Mhm.
But the nice thing about Facebook is that you can set a budget, and
Yeah.
its demographic is like huge. You can reach like 5,000 people for like $60 a month. I mean, something like that, But it's crazy how they make. Zuckerberg's got billions of dollars from his ads. So the marketing department of that, is like really, I guess, nominal, for lack of a better term. So if you think about it, and to get the name out there, and like you had said, like to promote, I think is rather, it fits in a budget, and a good size budget to reach a good audience of people and to target your demographic as well, because the demographics and the target marketing of Facebook. I mean, I know it's changed a lot since I've had my restaurant, and I haven't really looked at it, but I remember when I did it though, it was really, it really drilled down and really, was really effective on who I could target and the age group and everything, all sorts of facets. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want to, there's no certain age group that you want to only target. Target everybody. Everyone has, everyone's money spends the same, right? Yeah, that's something, just got to remember that. And whether you have to adapt with the times. So whatever new comes out, okay, hey, how do I use that to then market what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, what you're either bringing to the table, or whatever whatever you're trying to promote. That's simply what you have to do. So strongly suggest utilize those things for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be relegated to, you're only going to be as good as your phone calls.
Okay.
Exactly.
To the point where they're calling you.
More people are looking at a little screen every single day than picking up the phone. Texting is so popular. Text, scrolling. Why not? Oh, hey, Gabe, he's looking for storage units. Give him a call.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Eddie, what you're saying is 1,000% correct.
Mhm.
And a lot of times too, even just on Facebook, most people forget letting the people that they're on Facebook, letting them know that they're on, hey, listen, I'm looking for stuff, and constantly putting it out there.
Yep.
Okay. To the point where all of a sudden it's automatic. I get calls from people who I haven't talked to in a while, like, hey, I got a person who wants to sell a house and we haven't talked to him. Well, hey, how you doing? How are you? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Where's the house? Okay. I'm just speeding up the conversation here. I'm not that callous. Okay. So what I really like what Eddie is saying, and I agree with him. And otherwise, Gabe, and I know eventually you're going to be owning these. I know this year you're going to buy to own. But what's it called there? Now, people don't know who Ken Holmes is. I know, Gabe, you know who Ken is. Ken owns a lot of storage units. He's basically retired. He doesn't find them, they find him, right? And why? Because Ken's already established. I mean, Ken Holmes is worth millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. He doesn't have to do anything. Okay. And people constantly calling him. Okay. And I'll never forget, we were with him about 6 months ago, and someone referred him a property, and over that phone call that he referred out to somebody else, he made $75,000 because they called him and he referred it out. Okay. He didn't find it, it found him. On top of all the other money that he gets.
Yeah.
Right now, I can see Gabe's head, just his wheels are turning right now.
How did you know? I know. In fact, I was thinking, I'm going to tell you right now, Joe, I need to call you tomorrow. We need to talk. I'd like to bounce some ideas off you. So please expect a phone call from me. So
I will, but listen, I'm going to look at a storage unit tomorrow.
Okay.
So
I don't you. I don't, whatever.
So call me if I don't answer. I'm looking at the storage unit.
All right, well, just call back.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk. No problem.
Okay, cool.
Hey, why don't you look at that together?
Actually, somebody from Rochester went there yesterday.
Who?
I don't know. I think I know who it is, but man, I wanted to show up just to see their eyeballs fall out of their head,
It might be,
but I couldn't.
might have been Gabe. Might have been Gabe was there ahead of you.
I don't know. Oh, she wouldn't tell me. So
Wasn't
we'll
me.
see here. But it's a fantastic deal. I want this property. So we'll see. I already talked to Scott about it too. And Scott goes, drive there right now and just give her the purchase offer. It's like a 14 cap, 13, 14 cap.
Is that the one you told me about on Monday night?
No.
No.
This is a different one. So, all right, before we get off track here, sorry, Gabe, now we go crazy over storage. Who else wants to add on? If you want to add anything onto that or any other questions about
So Joe,
marketing?
Tim had a question. I don't know if you still have that question or not about elaborating more on something. I'm not sure what it is.
Yes, elaborating more on signing up for a free thingamabobby and getting a free website.
All right, signing up as a member with FREIA. Actually, you can go on the FREIA website. I know D's on there also. I don't know if you want to get a hold of D, but the great thing about joining the group also is you get a ton of discounts at Home Depot and God knows all these other places. You know, if you hate saving money, don't join the group. Okay. So it's a great place to network and it's a complete tax write-off. And you go with ffreia.com.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And but you get like a website or a splash page or something like that with
Yes.
that?
Yes. Free for all paid members.
Thank you.
There's a lot of benefits with this group.
Yeah, question about the website. I signed up to get the website, but I don't see any way to make modifications to the website to customize it. There's just a template up, general template. I sent a question to FREIA to see, somebody at the office to say, hey, how do you make a modification to, how do you change it and customize it? And nobody answered, but in the information, it looks like unless you pay for the website, you can't change it unless you guys correct me.
I don't know about that specifically. And by the way, I'm the wrong person to talk to about computers. I don't know if Dee can answer that question.
I can answer that question. That website is not quote unquote per se ran by FREIA. It's ran by our associates or our affiliate. And this guy's name is Michael. I'll put his information in there. He also does monthly website training on that site. And as long as you stay with the basic, there is no charge. And you can put houses on there if you have houses to sell or houses for rent, you can put houses on there. But I'll put the website in the chat box.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dee. Appreciate it. Any more questions on that? Anyone else have any other questions that they'd like to ask or go over? All right. So one of the things that's been going on, I know, especially right now with what's been happening with the market and everything else. If you're not familiar with short sales, get familiar with them. Okay. We're starting another one actually this weekend. But what I found very interesting about the short sale, I was actually talking with a realtor who does a lot of them, and he said something to me. He told me something very interesting. And by the way, if you don't know what a short sale is, basically imagine somebody who bought paid $100,000 for a house. They've owned it for a year, 2 years, whatever it is, and let's just say they haven't made a payment because they lost their job or whatever, and now they owe between fines and between fees and late fees. Let's just say they owe $125 on it. it's worth 100 and it needs $25,000 worth of work on it, okay? They're never gonna be able to sell it. So what we do is we go in, we make the bank an offer. Let's just say we offer the bank 50 grand and they accept it. The rest of the loan is forgiven. That's called a short sale, okay? Well, typically what happens is that the bank does what's called a BPO, a broker's price opinion. And what's been happening is apparently, because of the market's still pretty strong, but even though it's starting to subside, the banks have actually been buying back the property, have not been as negotiable, and they've been fixing the property and flipping them themselves to make more money. I know the guy who's doing them here in Rochester, and they've done just here and just I guess, I don't know, last couple of months or whatever, they've done probably around 25 plus properties. Is anyone else doing short sales? Has anyone else looked at doing short sales?
No, but I would be interested in short sales.
Short sales are going to be something to really look at. We've done very, very well with them. First of all, does anyone have questions on how a short sale works, first of all? I know I went over it kind of quick.
Yeah, if you can elaborate, just.
Okay, I'll give you a real life example. The house I'm gonna go look at, she paid $110 for it. And it's worth more than that, but she hasn't made a payment in going on about a year and a half or two. She's in foreclosure. And by the way, in New York State, average time is about, I don't know, 750 to 850 days for a foreclosure. I've seen them take 5 years. I've seen them take 6 months. I've seen them take, well, no, that's for the short sale, but typically, you know, some of the foreclosures can take a long time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go there. She owes well over $135,000+, probably closer to 145. It's worth probably around 150, 160. I don't even know. I'm going to find out when I go there. And the house needs a lot of work. Okay. We're going to go in and we're going to offer the bank somewhere around $50,000 to $60,000. Okay. Now, the bank is going to send they're going to do what's called a BPO, a broker's price opinion. Basically, the bank's going to call a realtor up and say, hey, go over there and tell us what you think this house is worth. Okay. Now, whenever I do a short sale, whenever that person goes to that house, I want to be there. Okay. And I tell the homeowner, don't clean up the house, don't fix, don't do nothing. I want to know everything that's wrong with the house. And then I list it. I make sure I point everything out to the person going to do the, you know, the so-called, you know, the appraisal. Okay. Another reason why I want to be there. Actually, we had one done one time. The guy never even got out of his car. He did a drive-by. He was supposed to go inside. It was vacant. If he could get away with it, he did the neighbor's house. Okay. Took a picture, came up with some crazy number. So that's why I want to be there. And I want to know that this guy knows, hey, listen, you know, I think this house is worth around $60,000. Here's why. Okay. So what's going to happen is that number one is I used to think whenever I find that someone called me to buy a house or a property, you can do this for commercial properties too. Okay. I used to think, okay, I can't do anything with this property. You know, they owe over 100,000 on this property. And it needs $40,000 worth of work. But doing the short sale, what happens is, and a lot of people don't understand it. I like to keep it very simple for the seller. Okay. She didn't really understand what a short sale was. She'd heard of it, but most of the time when you talk to people, they keep it very complicated. And you know, confused people do nothing. That's a true statistical fact. I don't care what business you're in, especially if you're in retail, you confuse a person, they're not going to buy. Okay. And when I talked with her, I explained to her, whatever the bank settles for, whatever is left over, the bank is going to just forgive her for that. It's going to ding her credit, but not as bad as a foreclosure, which stays on your record for 7 years. Okay. So what happens there is this. Now, all of a sudden, that weight is just lifted off their shoulders. Okay. So our goal on that property, let's just say I figure it's worth 150 fixed up. If I get it for 60, I don't care if I got to put $40,000 into it. There's enough of a spread in that property where I know I'm going to make a profit. Okay. As interest rates are going higher, as certain people are losing their jobs, prices, people are starting to, not pay their mortgage. And people are like, how do I get out of this? For this lady, she wants to be able to live her life free and clear. And the conversation I had with her, again, your strength of language will always correlate with your bank account and your success in any business. Okay. What I told her was, this house for you is like an anchor around your neck while you're trying to swim. And she goes, that is exactly, I feel like I'm drowning. I go, we could take care of that. Okay. So I kept it very, very simple. She was trying to look it up on the internet and oh my God, it was just, she didn't really understand it. Okay. And I know she's going in Monday at 2 o'clock to sign the paperwork for it. Okay. And whenever you do a short sale, a lot of times it can be like you watching me, watching your neighbor's grass, watching it grow. Okay. So it takes time. And a lot of times what I tell the seller, like I told her, I go, look, it's going to alleviate the pressure of you having to make the payments. What I'm going to tell you is, I told her, I go, look, bank your money. Okay. That way, when you do have to leave, you're in a position of strength, not of weakness. Also, this property right here, it's an FHA. Okay. And by everything I'm telling you right now may sound like a lot, but it's actually, as you progress, you'll learn this. It's actually pretty simple. It's pretty standard. She's going to qualify for a $3,000 moving expense. Now, why does the bank want to give her $3,000? Because years ago, when they had that bank meltdown and all the huge foreclosures, people were stripping the houses. They'd leave with the cabinets. They'd leave with whatever, furnaces, hot water tanks. They would take bathroom vanities. They didn't care. They'd take the plumbing, everything, electrical outlets, whatever. What they do is they pay her they're going to give her $3,000. That way it helps her move, get another place. And that way that asset for the bank does not get destroyed. Okay. First of all, any questions so far on this? I know I'm not that good of a teacher, so I'll be shocked everybody understands this. It took me a while to understand this.
Hey, can I just vocalize a question?
Yeah.
As an investor, how would I go about finding a home that's being short sold?
You got to find people who are basically, some people, what they'll do is they'll get a list to find out, you get to the Monroe County Clerk's office or whoever. There's many different ways you can buy a list. People who are in foreclosure. Not everybody knows what a short sale is. Okay. And anybody who's 4 months behind are automatically in foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure is what it's called. And those are the ones you want to contact. And a lot of them don't even know what a short sale is. And it's your job to communicate it to them in a very simple way. Okay. And, when I talked to her, she one of these people's concerns are just like, okay, I got to fill out all this paperwork. I got to do all this. I go, no, the only thing the bank is going to ask from you is, and I keep it very simple. I go, look, the bank is going to ask from you they may ask you for your tax return. They may ask for your, your expenses every month and a hardship letter. Okay. Everything else is taken care of by the attorneys. You don't pay 1 cent. You don't pay for the attorney. You don't pay for anything. Nothing comes out of your pocket. Okay. And they're like, well, how's that possible? I go, because the bank is trying to protect this house. Okay, because they'd rather alleviate the pain for them. By the way, a lot of these banks, they have, you know, a lot of them will have mortgage insurance and God knows whatever else. So I never feel sorry for the banks. Okay. So, and by the way, you will get people, if you're advertising your market, you're going to get people say, listen, I'm going into foreclosure. What can I do? How can you help me? Is there a way out? Okay. Questions so far on that? So get,
Hey, Carl, we can't hear you if you're talking.
Yeah, I know. Can you hear me now? I unplugged. We're
there you
good?
go.
Okay. Tim, so there are a few real estate agents that specialize in foreclosures or short sales rather. You seek them out. We used to know a few of them. I don't think they're in there anymore, but they do specialize in short sales. Another topic that or item that is part of short sales is that when there's a short sale, not only the first, the main mortgage company being the issue, they're in financial distress. And quite often there's a second lien, third lien, and a fourth lien. I've done a lot of short sale as a buyer. None ever closed because it requires negotiating those second, third, and fourth liens down to a negotiated settlement, and often it doesn't work out. So it's kind of complex, but at the same time, it's kind of fun, in my opinion. Go for it. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is we can't close because we have all these problems. So what? Move on.
Yeah, you're right, Carl. I've done them with liens. Most people, when they're in foreclosure, they may stop paying their credit card. We did one. The guy got in a really bad motorcycle accident 3 months after he moved into his house. Was in foreclosure. We bought the property cheap enough where we had to help pay off. There was a lien against him on his motorcycle, $3,000 or $5,000 credit card. Now, some of these people, like even on some of the second liens or mortgages, we've actually been able to. We had one guy that she owed like $20,000, and we told them, said, look, if you don't settle for $2,000, we're not going to buy the house. When you get foreclosed on, you're going to get wiped out. They said, okay. And they took the $2,000. Okay. All this stuff may sound a little complicated, but it's not as bad as you think it is. A lot of the stuff is handled through the attorneys. I don't just let any attorney handle a short sale. I have one specific attorney I go to all the time, because they do take a while. You have to be very persistent. And the bottom line is that when, no matter what, even up until the day of closing, you can walk away from the deal. Okay. So you're not obligated. Nobody is, not the seller and not you as the buyer.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
So if you're looking for distressed properties, wouldn't those properties kind of be also in the process of foreclosure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, some of those properties though, which, because here's the thing, if you find $150,000 house and they owe 40 grand on that house, you're not doing a short sale. If it only needs $30,000 worth of work or 40 or 50, you're not doing a short sale. Okay. Because there's enough of a spread on it. Just look, I'll pay off your 40 grand. I'll let you walk away with 5 grand, be done.
Yeah.
Now, if that distressed property, is in the suburbs and, and it's the opposite where they do owe a lot, then obviously do a short sale. Okay. And by the way, we did one in Brighton. The house was worth about 180. It needed over, I don't know, at least 80 grand worth of work. And the BPO came in at, we were trying to get it for around, I think like 50 or 60, I can't remember. And the bank said, nope, we want $180,000 for the house as is. I go, keep it. And the people stayed there until it got foreclosed on.
Mm.
Okay, just because a number comes in at that number doesn't mean the bank is going to take it.
Yeah.
You know? But you can get some great opportunities from that. And also at the same time, you're also helping out the family that's in that property. Okay. And when you're going into those properties, you got to remember, like the one I'm going to on Sunday, there's grandkids living in the house. And the mom is going to be taking the kids. The kids don't know what's going on. So the mom is going to be taking the kids out of there while I go there to look at the house. Okay, because they don't want to traumatize them. And when you're contacting these people, all of a sudden, you know, and I've seen people do it, and it's the wrong thing to do. All of a sudden you call them up and you say, hey, listen, all of a sudden the little kid answers, hey, is your mom or dad there? Well, no, can I take a message? Yeah, your parents are in foreclosure. You know, can you tell them to call me? I'd like to buy their house. What? Mommy? What's going on? You know, so you got to be very, very careful here.
Yeah.
Okay, there's, you know, some people I've heard some people go up and try knocking on the door. I won't do that. Okay. Because they're looking at you like you're the enemy.
Yeah, the bad guy.
You're the bad guy. You have to humanize yourself. Okay,
Sure.
when you're talking to these people, and they have to know that you're putting them first. Okay. Whenever I talk to somebody about a short sale, I don't talk to them about what I'm trying to get it for. You know, I kept pointing out to her saying, look, you don't have to worry about the house. You can get on with your life. You can, you know, make sure your credit's not going to be as bad.
You gotta be a good salesperson.
Yes. All you're doing is that, you know, it's not about, they don't care about me.
Yeah.
Okay. All they know is when you're there, they're thinking this guy has the cash to buy my house. He doesn't know my problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, you know, the lady that I'm going to, the agents that were calling her were just like, listen, I want to come in the house. I want to come in the house. I want to take a look at it, blah, 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 blah. And she's trying to tell them, hey, I got a family, I got kids. And the first thing that I asked, whenever I asked them, I go, look, before we even start any of this, I need to know that if this goes through, you and your family have a place to go. That to me is more important than anything else. And it really is. Okay. And when I said that, her guard came down. Okay. So, you know, we're there to solve a problem. Okay. So short sales are great opportunities for us. It can also be a very good opportunity for the seller to be able to move upward and onward, and also put them in a position where they'll be able to walk away with money in their pocket. And when I tell them, hey, listen, in between that time, you know, don't worry about making the payments, even though the foreclosure process is still going on. Typically it's halted, and I've stopped them doing a short sale. And I say, look, you're going to bank money if it takes 6 months, if it takes 8 months, whatever it is. You know, if you can't afford to pay the $1,200, at least save $600 or $700 of it that way. And then I'm also going to try getting them the move out money. Like that one lady, she's going to qualify for $3,000 because it's an FHA loan. Typically it's 2 to 10 grand. And I go, look, don't focus on the 10. It may only be 1,500. It could be nothing. Every time I mention that number, people focus on the 10, and I reiterate them, don't focus on that, please. Okay. My main concern is, number one, is to get this thing off of your shoulders. Okay. And get you and your family and your kids settled somewhere else where you can actually breathe again. Okay. Questions?
Yeah. Joe, let me go down a different thread. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So all night and you know, everything that you hear this thing, you know, it needs 60,000 to work. It needs 40,000 to work. Where do you get that from? That's a key component to success. It's very, very important to know where that number is coming from. Now, some of us have experience with estimating. So if you don't have a contractor go in and make sure and get that number
Yeah.
more towards a a correct value. But don't just guess at it. Oh God, that's the worst thing. It's gambling.
Yeah, you're
Gambling.
right.
Now, if you want to gamble, here's my suggestion. And I've seen so many people do this. We have a novice investor go, I think it needs 20 grand. How you know? I don't know. I just way I think. Really? Double that. Double that. If you think it's 20 grand, it's 40 grand. All right? You'll be safe then. But until then, get qualified people in to estimate that rehab or that flip or whatever. Very important, because I see so many people just starting. I think it's going to be this. Well, based upon what? They have no experience. So that's my rant. Joe, what do you think?
I totally agree with you. I like to figure typically on a house, 30 to 40 grand on that size of a house. And I'm going to go through and then I'll be able to figure it out. If it needs a roof, we know 10, 12,000, whatever, we know. And if you don't know, you better take somebody with you. And the great thing about this group, especially if you partner up with people, you can go there and you can shadow people, tell exactly, what it's going to cost, what it's going to be. And some of these people, by the way, especially with the short sale and then the amount of work that it needs, you got to be careful not to insult the people. God, this house needs $40,000 worth of work. And in their mind, they're thinking this guy must think we live like, what's it called? We don't care about the house or whatever, and so some people will get a little offended. And again, I say, listen, so whenever I go over the numbers for me, and I have brought in a contractor, if it's too extensive, I've done that. Okay. Just to make sure, but I'm like, listen, I'm looking at this not through my eyes. I'm looking at this through the eyes of the next family that's going to be living here to start their family and their traditions for the next generation. Because when they come into this house deserves, I always say deserves to be brought back. Okay. And what it does is that I say, those people, when they come in, they want this house to be 100% turnkey for the next 20, 30 years. Okay. And by the way, I've actually had people get I had one person get really upset with me because they had paid like, it was like $170,000, $180,000 for this house. And they had to do a short sale. And I went in and I put on the purchase offer, I think I put like $40,000 or $50,000. Okay. And they were appalled. They were like, I paid all this money. I did all this. I said, so now what I do is I say, listen, the number that I'm going to be putting on this purchase offer is not the number I'm going to be buying this at. I could put $1 on here. Doesn't matter. What's going to matter is the BPO. And no matter, every single time I've done a short sale, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the bank has always, and did you hear me say always, made me go up on the price. So I can always go higher, but I can never go back down. That's why. So please, I want to be respectful to you because I know you paid 175, 150, 100, whatever it is for this house. Understand this is not the price I'm going to be getting it at. Okay. So I automatically, I want to get that right out of the way because that was they're thinking this rat bastard wants to make $100,000 on our house and we're having all these problems. We're doing all this. I got to worry about my kids. Okay. So having that eases their the more tension they're going to get. Okay. And by the way, who check out there? Does anyone have questions about what Carl is going over in regards to, in regards to, figuring out what stuff's going to cost?
Well, especially now, Joe, with inflation, with this, the product material. Oh my God. it's so unknown now. You really have to do your due diligence in estimating stuff. So 30, 40, 50, 60% increase in materials across the board. So it's a game changer in terms of how things are evaluated now. Which kind of forces the offer lower. I mean, inflation is causing those offers to be lower. I mean, you got to push it to that. It's the inflation is the cause of my low offer, not right.
Absolutely. Yeah, but some people are still thinking, because I've had people tell me, I've gone to a house, people told me, listen, Joe, this is only going to cost you 15 grand. I walked in, I'm like, 15,000. I'm like, you better, 2.5 times that. It was, oh, you're out of your mind. You don't need to do this. We had a kitchen that had missing cabinet doors from 1970s. Oh, you have to. One of them had a piece of plywood for a door. You don't need to change that. Seriously? Piece of plywood on a couple of little hinges. Come on. You're going to get that. We all do. I'm sure you got stories like that.
Hey, Joe, you got a question in the chat. Person's looking for, if you're flipping a house, you check out the chat.
Oh, I didn't look at I apologize. Usually Andy's on here and Scott's on here, so I'm running solo tonight. So I appreciate everybody helping me. So what's the question?
Looks like find a house, wanting to flip.
Yes.
Got a hard money lender, and should I get a contractor in there before?
Yes.
Making any
Yes.
offers?
And yes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really understand the question, but
If you're looking, so you have a house that you're looking to flip. Question is getting a contractor in there beforehand.
oh, absolutely.
Yes. And yes.
Yeah.
No turning back.
Yeah, it's like otherwise it's like buying a car over the phone.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
I'm okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. What's your name?
Shaquana. So I was on earlier and I was in the chat, but it's more difficult for me to try to talk because I am still working late tonight to join this webinar here.
Okay.
But my question was about flipping properties. So if I have a house that I'm interested in, and I know that, by looking at the house, looking at the neighborhoods, knowing what the house is initially listed at, knowing what the house is selling in this area, kind of just looking at the history and saying that if I'm going in to use like a lender to provide me money to purchase the property, to rehab the property, and because I know a lot of times with the lenders, depending upon like what their rates are, how they want to go about it, a lot of times they don't give you a lot of the money up front. So they'll let you you have a certain percentage that you're taking care of. And my thing is, once you're going in and you're looking at their house, you're knowing that it's a good deal. My question, I guess, was just about how do I go about setting up just like the domino effect of going in first, having that contractor going in and looking at the property so they can actually look and say, okay, well, this is all you want to do to the house. This is how much it's going to cost to rehab this property. So I'm gathering all of that data prior to taking my deal to my lender.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Because, for example, going in when you're looking at those houses to be sold, this is kind of a, quick kind of, so it sounds like, when you're first going in, you're thinking about it like, yeah, I'm going to have time to be able to get a contractor there, look at it, let them know all what I want to do to the property, things of that nature. But it's kind of like some of these things kind of go a lot faster when you're looking at properties that are investment properties. You're getting multiple people coming out to those properties. You're getting multiple investors looking at the same property in the same ways that you're looking at them. So it's like, I guess it's just a matter of being able to find someone that's available to get there, to be able to get all of my details before even taking it to the lender and saying, hey, I have this property. This is where it is. This is what I want to do to it. This is what, it's worth. This is how much it can be worth after repair. So kind of just gathering all of that data before taking it to a lender. I guess I was asking in more of a lender standpoint.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Juana, you're talking about competing also. against other people there at the property, right?
Right, because if I'm going in to find properties, a lot of the times when you're going in to look at these distressed homes or just homes that are, for sale by owner, or just regular houses that are for sale, but they're listed like really, really cheap because there's a lot of things that need to be updated or fixed in those properties.
Yes. Number one, I would preface it with market yourself so that way they're calling you direct and it's just you. Those are the best ones to get. You will have to compete, but yeah, you got to be able to get all that stuff, situated for yourself. And you will get to the point where you can keep bringing a contractor, but you'll get to the point where you'll start to know the numbers.
Right.
Once you start working with that hard money lender, like a lot of us on this call, wasn't at first, we were able to build up a reputation with that lender and just pick up the phone. Hey, I got this property. It's worth this. I need this. Okay, done.
Okay.
Okay. So, but for right now,
It's
they
like
don't know you.
building that relationship. Yeah.
So another thing I tell people is if you know a hard money lender or seeking one out, get to know them and call them before you need them. Don't call them the morning. Hey, listen, my name is Shaquana and I need $100,000 tomorrow. Okay, who are you?
Of
What are
course,
you
right?
doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, listen, my name is Shaquana. Look, I want to introduce myself. I know you're a hard money lender. I'm in the real estate game. I want us to get to know each other beforehand because I want you to know I'm serious. Okay. I want to be respectful to you. And obviously, I want to create a relationship with you. And then just touch base and, hey, listen, it's me, Shaquana. I looked at a couple of properties, nothing yet, but listen, I'm going to find something and I want to put your money to work. And then after a little while, one day you're going to call and say, hey, listen, I found something. Like, oh yeah, Shaquana, we talked 3, 4, 5 times. This girl's serious. Okay, boom. That automatically gives you good credibility. And then, and after a while, they may give you better rates. They may, instead of giving you, 70%, they may give you 80, 90, 100%, of the money that you're going to need. So
Shaquana, what Joe just said is spot on. Spot on. Take that in. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, I found a property, and I've told the story before. I found a property on Park Avenue, and it was brought to me, and it was a 4-family and 5,000 square foot building with a 4-car garage. And the guy wanted, basically I needed $211,000, and it was worth more than double that. I called up my lender because I had, I've been working with him. And I told him where it was. It was literally like, he was more excited about it than I was. He was like, oh my God. And he goes, how much you need? I said, give me 220. Done. That was it. Click. It was 100% financing. But that's because I had a track record with him. Okay.
Gotcha.
So up front.
Makes sense.
Okay. So just understand that. So build toward that relationship. Once they know, what you're doing. The numbers won't matter. What's going to matter is the actual spread on that deal.
Thank you.
No problem. Hope you don't get in trouble at work.
No, I'm fine for right now. I wanted to step out. You guys have been talking earlier about a lot of interesting things, and I haven't really been able to chime in as much like vocally.
Yeah.
So I was kind of writing a few things in the chat, but then I'm like, I don't know if my comments are showing or if it's just like someone else kind of replied, like the host said something earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. Usually there's myself and Scott and Andy. And Scott's at a mastermind. Andy is at a business dinner. So I'm trying to hold down the fort, and I appreciate everybody's patience and help.
Yes, of course. I had another question.
Go ahead.
I know that earlier I heard you mention something about Leon. I know recently at the Christmas party, he announced that he was going to be stepping down, but I wasn't sure if he would still kind of even just, be around, kind of linger.
Absolutely. He's not going anywhere. He's looking for more properties right now too.
Okay. I definitely wanted to try to reach out to him. Maybe I want to say maybe about 2 years ago. We talked about just him providing me a little bit more mentorship. And I think at the time, kind of still was like really on the fence, not really like sure if this is something that I'm ready to be 100% dedicated to. So now kind of, a year and a half later, feel like I'm in a better spot, especially financially, no debt, kind of saving money, being able to actually take my money and try to put it to use. So now I'm in a better spot. So just looking more so to get someone with a little bit more experience that doesn't mind having, taking me on as a mentor.
There's a ton of people here who will do that with you. That's a great thing about this group. And for those of you who don't know, this group does millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in real estate transactions the public never, ever finds out about. Okay. So that's the power of this group. Okay, and there's everything, every gamut here, and there's also lenders. There's whatever type of real estate you're in, there's somebody here within this group, and they're constantly doing deals with each other. Okay, so definitely get plugged in.
Thank you.
All right, I know we're running down here on time here. I just wanted to find out if anyone had any other questions, anything that they'd like to go over here.
Anybody?
I don't know if someone's trying to say something or not.
Yeah, I had a question.
There you go, Alvin.
So you was talking about the contractor. So when you're looking for like a distressed property and you want to get the rehab cost, so how would you go about finding a contractor to do that?
A
Joe,
lot of us.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh God, you're gonna go through a lot of contractors. You're gonna call some of them, and some of these guys are gonna give you a price which is going to throw you completely upside down on the property. So you're gonna go through a lot of them.
Okay.
Some of these people, they'll call some of these guys they see on TV. I'm like, it's mind-boggling. I see the estimate. And I literally say to them, are you trying to buy a yacht with a helicopter pad on my back? Where'd you come up with these numbers? So you're gonna have to find someone who really knows what they're doing. And I want definitely Carl, anyone else to chime in on this. I've gone through a lot of them. You're gonna go through a lot of them. Carl, you've got more experience on all of us on that.
Yeah. So Evan, the trick to this is have an established relationship ahead of time. That's that's the main thing. You can't find a property and then try to find a contractor. No, you need to have an established relationship ahead of time. So if Craigslist is huge in finding contractors and people skill sets. And Joe, I wanted to touch upon the topic of the whole thing of it's going to cost this, it's going to cost that. There's two things going on here. One is as an owner, property owner, manager, rehab.
By the way, Carl, there you are. You're back. Okay.
Yeah. As a flipper rehabber, you're going to do one of two things. One, you're going to take on the role of a GC, general contractor, and you manage. You're a project coordinator. You're going to bring in the skill sets. You're going to bring in the plumber. You're going to bring all the skill sets into that rehab project. Okay. You're going to be that GC in a sense. Okay. That's where you're going to save money. If you hire a GC, yeah, you're going to be paying a lot more. They take on that role. So I would suggest that you learn to be a project coordinator, so you can manage the skill sets coming into your rehab project. That's the better way of reducing cost. Joe, what's your opinion?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. And then like on one of them that we're doing right now, we brought in the contractor, partnered up with him, say, listen, we'll bring you in, and at least that way it lowers our, because we're so busy, we have so many things going on at once right now. It's going to help us. He's happy, and he's not going to overspend, because that's going to take money out of his pocket. So you can also do that, offer them part of the deal. Again, like Carl was saying, make sure you have a good relationship with them, because I've seen a lot of issues happen, and so you're going to be a project manager when you start doing one, but like a lot of us, like for me, we've got so many projects going on at once, between our rentals, the wholesaling, the fix, the flips, the buying. It's a lot. So you want to make sure you're not taking your eye off the ball, because you will lose. I've seen it happen time and time again. So,
Joe,
yes.
this is Dee. I found some decent contractors when I went to Home Depot early in the morning, before COVID. Now, this is before COVID. Unfortunately, I haven't talked to them in about 2.5, 3 years. But I found some decent contractors, and I went to the Better Business Bureau, looked them up. I also had referrals from them. I saw some of the things that they did. I went through Home Depot. I priced a lot of the things that I needed. So I knew they was not going to give me a bogus deal in regards to cost price and stuff like that. So that is an option that is always available to anybody out there. You just have to be a little wary, and you just have to, really critique them.
And if you do that, find out where they're working. Surprise them.
Yep.
Go there. Like Scott Spear says, and he makes me laugh every time he says it. He goes, "What do the first 3 letters of contractor spell?" Con. I love it. That's what he says. So it happens.
That's funny as shit.
I know. He's funny. All right, listen, it's 8:30, so I want to be respectful here. I'll stay on a few extra minutes if someone wants a couple extra questions or whatever. But if you have to go, that's okay. I appreciate you being on. I appreciate all of you helping me out, because obviously I couldn't do the chat and everything else all at the same time. But I appreciate all of you getting on here. Get on the FREIA website, check out, see what's going on, get connected with everybody. If you have to leave, go do real estate. Thank you very much.
Remember, next Thursday night, Ferrari's Pizzeria in East Rochester. Do-it-yourself property management stuff. We'll be there. Bring all your issues, questions. It's open forum. It's a good time.
Yeah. Carl, thanks for tonight too, by the way.
Yeah. We'll see you. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Joe, very much.
Thank you, Dee.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good
Thanks,
night.
everybody. Bye, Joe.
Night.
Bye.
Thanks, Joe. Have a good night.
No problem. You guys have a good night.
Hey, Joe, that storage facility you're going to look at tomorrow, did you say that you got the lead came to you? I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, so what I did was we had the lead come to me, and ended up being a couple hours from here, and off market, 15 acres. And she's got, can't remember how many units right now, but that's not her main business. I think it's got 90 units. She doesn't care about the storage. She runs another business on another 4,000 square foot building. That's her main business. She doesn't even advertise the storage facility. And Scott and I figured it's worth minimum, I bet you between 600,000 and 650,000 as is. Okay. So I talked to her, and I'm going to go out there tomorrow. She goes, yeah. She goes, so somebody from New Hampshire who's there looking at the place a long time ago, who's got family there, found out the place was, and sent her a full price offer. And then today, no, yesterday, two people from Rochester, a partnership from Rochester went out there, and somebody else was out there. I said, don't take any offers until I go. I said, I'm the real deal. I said, I talked about Scott, how he's got 12 storage facilities. I humanized myself. I talked to her, and she went to my website and checked me out. So she called me up on Thursday morning or Wednesday morning, goes, hey, Joe, I already got an offer. I go, that's great, Annette. I told you, your place is worth every penny what you're asking. You're asking a fair price. And I told her at the beginning, don't you dare take a penny less. And then she goes, I got a full price offer. I go, great. You're going to have a great time with all the offers coming in. Wait till you see mine. So I wanted to get out there today, but with the crazy weather and the ice and the, the sleet and stuff, she goes, come in Friday. So I'm going to go.
Yeah.
We'll see.
This a few months ago, I think, or last year or something. I think you talked to me, maybe.
No, this is the first time this one right here. Yeah.
There's another storage facility. I think you mentioned that, like something of a lot of acreage in New York. I think we talked about it before. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. So I don't know. I'm going to see what's going to happen. I want this place. And, so I'm like, man, so we'll see. And if I sign it out, it could easily be 6 figures. So I'll see. I would love to have gone there at the same time, because I'm wondering if it was Ben or Brendan, any of those guys, or Jeremy, just to show up and see, like, oh man.
And I saw Jeremy on Monday night. He didn't say anything about that, so I don't know.
I don't know if it was him. He said it was a partnership, 2 guys. They own property. They own other storage facilities in New York, and they're from Rochester. They got to be people we know.
Chris Lawrence or Ben or Brett, one of those guys, I'll bet,
I know. But I love competition. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm either going to get the property or I'm going to drive the price up. One of the two.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see here, but it's a decent deal. It's only 65% occupied.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's got 15 acres to boot.
Tons of room for expansion.
Tons of room. And it's got tons of room. It's right across from one of the lakes out there. And it's got tons of room for boat and RV storage.
Where's in the Finger Lakes area?
What?
Finger Lakes area?
Yes. And she doesn't want boats and RVs there. She goes, I got no time for that. I refuse them. Even though she has all this, she has tons of people calling every year to see about using her for storage.
Joe, that's awesome. Hope it goes well.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, so, but I'll let you know. But
yeah.
Tomorrow, give me a call tomorrow and we can talk about the about some of the marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'd like to ideas. So, and yeah, my head's already turning about that. So I already got things ready. So
don't worry. Tomorrow I'm going to have you not sleeping. All right. I don't know who else is even on there. Probably just a few people there, but I just wanted to make sure if anyone else has anything they want to talk or whatever or connect. Oh, I think that's it. Everybody good?
Yep.
All right. Signing off, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a great night.